Hi guys, very good evening to all of you. Welcome to the video number 426. My name is Ajay Parmar, and in this video today we are going to face some very interesting questions which are based on conditional formatting, date, match, if function, indirect function and advanced filter. So this exercise will have all these formulas, we are going to discuss all these formulas in this video, and the level of this video absolutely is not a beginner level. I hope that you know about these functions, you have the basic idea about it, because we are not here to explain these functions. If you're watching the channel for the first time, you can go and check out my all playlist, the separate playlist which I have created on conditional formatting, date, match, if, and the indirect function, of course the advanced filter, right? This is my channel, youtube.com/c/Ajay Kumar Parmar, and if you're watching the video for the first time, or you are just joined, then these are all the playlists guys, 45, and you can see, you can scroll it down and you would find here all the videos. Now these videos actually are divided in a proper manner. We have the Excel videos, we have the Excel VBA, MS Access and Access VBA. This video is going to be on the Excel part only. We are not going to talk about any programming or MS Access. Right now again, a lot of you keep on asking me that how to learn the Excel VBA or Excel Access VBA in the channel. So guys, you can pause the video and you can see that this is the sequence which you need to follow. These are all the playlists which I have created here for you, so go and learn them step by step. Right, for example, if you look at this, we have the Excel demo videos, VLOOKUP and match, count, indirect. So indirect, this is what I was talking, then the if function, and then conditional formatting, date function. You see that? So we have actually covered all the things, right? So now let's go and see that what we have got in here in this video. Now I got these questions actually while taking my classes and while taking the trainings, and I found these questions very worth of discussing with you. And of course these are the day-to-day challenges which we face if you are a MIS person, if you work extensively in Excel. So I just thought, as usual, that let's talk about these and let's share this information, knowledge with all of you. Right, so let's start with the first question we have here in front of you. Now you can see here, by the way, let me just hide this. This is not required, don't be distracted. Now this is the question guys, this is a drop down where you have all the months coming here, Jan, Feb, March, April, May, June, July, and this is where you have the titles, right? This is your table basically. Now the question is, please change the status of below table as answered. Okay, so we want to convert offered into answered if selected month from the drop down comes before the header month. So basically what we are trying to do is, if you are selecting April, then these headers from Jan till April, they are supposed to change to answered. We don't want the offered here, we want the answered, right? And the rest of the headers, they should remain as it is, offered. Okay, this question was put up by one of my subscribers. He emailed me this thing, right? And if I select, let's say for example August, then automatically from Jan till your August, this should be actually answered, and so on, right? This is what we need to do in this exercise. Now to do this exercise, what I'm going to do is, guys, first of all I'm going to write here 1, and then I'm going to drag this left to right. Okay, we're going to create the series here, so just click on this button. Make sure it should not be the copy cell, which is the by default option. So we're gonna make the series. Right now this series you can make, you can even hide this, you can even give it a white font so that it should not, nobody can see that, right? So this series can be created in just seconds. You just need to drag it. Now what I want to do is, I want to find the position of this month which user has selected in this table. And to find the position, I am going to use the match function, right? So here guys, I'm going to use the match function. So match function is a function which returns the position, which returns the column number of the lookup value. Right now my lookup value is G3, which is August. So what I will do is, I simply go in this table and I'm going to freeze this table, completely freeze the table, and we are going to see that exact match. So I'm going to write here 0. So this is how you get to see here the position of this August month. And now we are going to drag this. Remember, I have already frozen the table, right? So the table is not going to move left to right if I move this function, and at the same time this G3 should also not change, because this is the only the month which we are going to target. So I'm going to completely freeze it like this. Okay, now so if I just drag this now, see that or what is going to happen. So if I just go and drag this, this is what we are going to see. All right, so we get to see here 8 8 8 8 8, and you know, everywhere you have the position of this August month, right? And we already got the position of the rest of the items as well from this table, which is simply just a fill series, right? Now the idea is that let's compare this with this, and we are going to actually change this, you know, this offered, you know, till the time we are seeing that this 8 is greater than this value, less than or equals to this value. So what you're going to do, you're going to write here if function, and you're simply going to say that if this value, the value of this August, right, is less than and equals to the value of this, right, then what we need is we need the answered. Okay, so I'm gonna write here answered, and otherwise we're gonna write here offered, right? That's how the formula is going to build. Now you got the offered here, and so I'm going to drag this. So I think there might be some problem in the logic. Let me think, because this should be actually answered, right? Okay, I think this has to be greater than, let me see that if this is going to be greater than this, then we got the answered here. And now if I drag this, I will have to see that what exactly we're getting. So I think we're getting the correct answer, right? There we go, guys. Now you can see that it shows here actually, you know, the answered, and this is what we needed it. So we got this. So we compared this 8 with the, you know, these all values one by one, and you have your answer, answered, and here it is changing because the month is changing. Let me check this quickly. So if I'm gonna make this June, let's see what's gonna happen. So now we have from the Jan, you know, to this June, everything is coming as answered. Perfect, guys, right? And if I'm just going to change this to further, maybe let's say Feb, and there we go. Wow, this is awesome, right? And if I'm just going to change this to Jan, all right, there we go. So that's a perfect solution, right? So what I can do is I can quickly go and hide these values. You can hide, and so I just hide this, and or maybe I can use the shortcut key. I think it's Control 9. Control 9 is to hide the complete row. So that's how, you know, you can actually sort out this issue. Somebody faced this question in his interview recently, right? So that's how it is. Now let's go to the next question, guys. What is the next question now? Now the next question is that highlight the table date. So that means highlight means color them wherever they fall within the 30 days from today date. Okay, so what exactly we are trying to do here is that whenever I open this file, and suppose if these are the deliverable dates, and I want to see that, suppose you have here some work allocation, you know, you have some work here, you know, which is given to you, and these are the deadlines for that. So how you actually going to take care of it? Now suppose this is the 23rd, which is today date, and I'm just going to maybe increment them by let's say 12, and I'm just going to drag it. So suppose these are the target dates which you're supposed to cover, right? And if you just go and change the format to maybe something else, maybe I can write this, let's say, to understand it. So these are the target dates. Now I want that whenever I open this workbook every day, I should be able to see that now, you know, my target is coming within the 30 days, and I really need to, you know, push my team to go and, you know, do the needful. So that's the kind of a tracking we are going to do here. So how to do this, right? So guys, you write here formula, which is today. Now this is a formula which always inserts the today date. So today is 23rd when I'm recording this video, and now what will happen every time the workbook opens, if I open this workbook tomorrow, this is going to be 24th. So this date is automatically going to be changed. Now actually what you need to do is you basically need to you know, find the difference of this target date and this target date, which is the today date. So target date has to be greater than obviously your, you know, this deliverable, this particular date. The today date has to be greater than this, less than this target date, because target date is going to fall, you know, maybe after 15 days or 20 days or 60 days, 90 days, you know, that's how. So that's why I'm subtracting C1 from E6. So this is going to tell you the number of days. Now you can see here that today is 23rd of June, so it's going to give me 0, right? So similarly what I will do, I will simply go and freeze the C1, and this is what we need to do. E6 keeps on changing, and C, your part is not going to change. So here we have 0 day, here we have 12 days left, 24 days, 36 days. So these dates are, you know, something which should not highlight at all, because we still have a lot of time here, right? But these dates, they definitely should highlight. So how to do that? Now the same concept, guys, what you need to do is you need to select the table, and you need to go to the, you know, because we want to highlight it. So I go in the home tab and I use the condition formatting, and in the new rule what I will do is I will put the formula here. Simple. The same formula, guys, I need to put here. So how I'm gonna do that? Now there are two options. Either you can, either you can say that this and minus this, okay, equals to, you can say that, it should be less than equals to your 30 days, right? That's what you can say. But otherwise, the another option is that you can also directly use the today date. So you don't have to basically write the C1 here. That is also the possibility, I mean to say. So what I will say that the cell which is my end date, if the difference between that is going to be from the today date, if it is going to be less than equals to 30, then I definitely want to raise an alarm, right? So I go in the format cell and I can give it maybe a red color if you want to give. You can also use the fill effect to give it a good kind of the color formatting. So you can choose the diagonal or diagonal down, whatsoever it is, and you just press OK, and now we just click on the OK, right? Now look at this. Now every actually date is colored, which is wrong. So what mistake we have done? So if I go back to the condition formatting, and now this time I need to click on the manage rules because the rule is already created. Look at this, guys. If I show you this, now basically what happened, you forgot to remove the dollar from E6. So what happened for the entire range, every time the E6 is compared with this today value. So let's keep it open so that for this range, this E6 should change to E7, and then E8, E9, E10, and so on. So I now press OK. Let me apply this, and there we go. Now you can see that this is your condition formatting. This is how it is done, right? So if I just let's say change this to 120, let me add 120 days to this. You see that this date is automatically going to be removed from the color. So these are the dates which you should definitely target. Right now, for the understanding perspective, I wrote here 23, but obviously this 23 would come a lot earlier because this is not the real-time project, but this is how the formula is going to be, right? So let me just show you again. This is the formula, guys. You can pause the video and you can have a look at it. Rule, make sure that referencing should be correct, and instead of the today, you can also select this cell. If you're going to select that cell, please put that entire cell in the dollars, like this. In this case I did. This is the one, right? Now let's go to the question number 3. In the question number 3, we have what steps should be followed to paste the data in any other cell of the sheet, but only those items which contains D. So basically what you need to do is you need to actually pull out those items which contains D, and you're going to paste it somewhere here, maybe here. So guys, for this I'm going to use the advanced filter. Now to use the advanced filter, as I already said, you can go and watch the videos on the advanced filter. It's a very powerful function. We're going to create here a criteria. So this is how we create the criteria. The header should be written here, whatever the header you have from the main table. Don't change the spellings. It's a case insensitive though, right? But spelling should be same. And now here what you need to write, because we say that contains D, so you're gonna write star, D, and star. Now star means that after D and before D anything can come, right? Like in the filter, when you put the filter, how it happens. If I have to say that use the filter, then what will you do? You will say text filters contains, you go in the day and it contains, and you write here D, right? And the filter is going to work. So basically these are the items we are looking, but we want to paste them here. Filter is not gonna work, right? I mean, you can do that, of course. You can copy and paste that here, but that's not something which we will do. Okay, so what I will do, I will use the advanced filter. So I have created the criteria. Now let's go to the data and let's click on the advanced filter, and here filter the list in the place. So where you want to filter it, first of all. So I want to actually filter this, let's select this, copy to another. So I want to copy them, for example, here. That's what I'm gonna do. You can see that in the list range the table is already selected, which is A1 to A19. If it is not, then please select that. That's very simple, and the criteria range should come like this. Make sure you should select the header as well, and header is very important. If you remove the header from here, it's not gonna work, remember that. And the spellings should be same as your header, right? So now what I want the unique record, or I want all the records. Well, I want all the records because my challenge is not to pull out the unique items. My challenge is to pull out all the numbers, all the items which contains D. So I will go with everything. Otherwise you can select this option as well. So I'm gonna click here and look at this, guys. This is really cool option, right? So contains, this is how it is, right? So that's your advanced filter. Okay, now let's go to the question. So you can write down all the steps. So what would be the first step? The first step would be the create your criteria. This is how create your criteria in column C. Okay, in column C, and use the star, so that it should be considered as contain. Okay, and then select the column A, select the table, basically go to advanced filter. This is how you're gonna write, right? And then go to advanced filter, and the rest you already know how to do that. So I mean all the steps you can write, right? Okay, so we have another question here. Please link the cells of column A, which means these all cells, and in a horizontal direction using the Excel formula. For example, see the yellow one. So guys, this is what we need to do, right? We have to link all these cells here so that if somebody does any change here, that change should reflect here as well, right? Now, if you just simply link this cell, it's not gonna work, right? Because Excel rule says that when you drag the formula left to right, basically your column changes. But here we have in the different direction. So what you can do is you can simply actually use the two things. One is I think you can copy this and you can go here and you can use the paste special Alt ES, or you can go in the home tab and you can also pick up the paste special from here. Alt ES is the shortcut key, Control Alt V is also the second shortcut key. So when I use that, what I can do is I can transpose it, and at the same time, if I just try to, let's say, click here, okay, now what happens, the value is going to come, right? But the point is they said that please link the cells in a horizontal direction using formula. So the point is this is not a formula, because if you do any changes here, what happens, this is not going to change. So you have to, what you need to do is you can select this entire range, and you can go in the formula bar and you can quickly write here transpose, and you can select this table and then press Control Shift Enter. Don't press enter, because this is going to act as a Control Shift Enter, the array formula curly brackets you can see here, right? So you got the answer here. Now anything if I change here, you see that the change is going to happen here. Okay, or the another solution is you can use the indirect, one of my favorite function. Now you see that this is A1 and this is A2 A3, so you can write here A1 A2 A3 and you can drag them. So let's create the address. So if I just move this left to right, what's gonna happen, you will have A1 A2 A3, all the cells in this direction. And now I can simply say indirect, because indirect is a function which we use to to go to any cell, not directly but indirectly. So I go in this cell called G12, and in the G12 indirect finds another cell address which is A1, and it immediately goes to the A1, and that's how you can see that. Now what is the benefit, because now this is actually G12, and the moment you drag this left to right, G12 will change to H12, I12 and so on, and in the I12 you will have a new address which is A2 A3 and so on. So if I just drag this is what I'm gonna see, guys. Look at this. This is also a formula which will automatically change. If I do any changes here, you see that the change is done. So this is your indirect and this is your simple transpose, right? Fantastic. Let's go to the last question. So what is the last question? Now last question actually is, if a city has a number means any numeric number, for example in the test 2 and the test 4 and the test 5, and the address has hash, okay, then the output should be address valid, otherwise it should be invalid. So how you gonna find this hash, guys? What we need to do is I'm going to create a function which is going to be an array. So you will have a super fun here, because arrays are something one of my favorite, always favorite. They are very powerful and you got to have a really very good understanding of it. Watch and go in the playlist Excel arrays, and if you just are if you're a beginner, you don't know anything about the Excel arrays, you can go and refer to this playlist. Now what I'm going to do is, as far as this city is concerned, right, so first of all what we are going to do, we're going to actually use the mid function here. So I'm going to say that mid, go in this text, and the start number has to be, now I'm going to start number as 1 and the number of characters I want 1, right? So what will happen, if you drag this function, you get to see here A, and if you drag this function in the downward direction, you will get to see here A, T, 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 all that, right? The reason is because you are saying that in the text I have to go and the start number has to be 1, and the number of characters which I return once I start, it has to be 1. So basically what you need to do is this start number should keep on changing, because I'm here to split this A, B, C and every character, and then I'm going to do the comparison. I'm going to split them and I'm going to do the comparison that whether it is a number or not. So in order to do that, now you have to use this mid function as an array. So what you will do, instead of using this here start number as 1, what you're going to do is you're going to write here 2, then 3, 4, and then 5, and then 6 and so on, right? So that depends now how many basically the rows you have here in this particular cell, right? So so for example in this text we have 1, 2, 3 A, B, C. So I want my start numbers to be only 1, 2, 3, right? But you never know what is going to be the text. So in that case what we can do is we can simply fill out the series like text 7, 8 and 9. right? That's it, because I know that any character which I'm using here, it's not going to be greater than 9. In fact, I can also manage with the, I think, 5, because uh, the maximum the number of characters I can see is the test2, right? So they have, but still I will create this 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9, which are going to be the, the start number, and guys, put them in the curly bracket. You may not have ever imagined that this mid can also be used in this way. I know that, right? Because many of you know the mid only as a normal function. But now if I press Ctrl Shift Enter, look at this, what is going to happen. I go in the equals to and I press F9. Now F9, basically it's a shortcut key to expand the formula. Now guys, look at this, ABC, all they are separated, right? So if I just go and drag this formula, this will be very interesting to see. I go here and press F9. Look at this, guys, we got here TEST2 and so on, right? So these spaces are coming because obviously there is nothing for the mid function to start from the 6th or 7th position. But the point is, we got the numbers here. So every single character is split now. Now this is in the double quotes. So first of all, I have to change this, okay? Because this double quote is not going to give me the output as number, because this is going to be considered as a text. So now what I will do here is, I'm simply going to multiply it with 1, because whenever you multiply any number with 1, if it is a text, it converts back to the number. And I can show you, if I just go here and press F9, look at this, we got the errors for every value which is a text, but for a number we got here 2, right? So now the only thing which is left for me is to actually use the if error here. So for any error, what we're going to do, I'm simply going to say that for any error, please give me the 0, okay, and Control Shift Enter. Now you will have here 0 and then the obviously the number. For example, if I just press here F9, look at this, what is going to happen. So you have here 0002 and 000, right? So the only thing now left is, I'm going to calculate the maximum number from this series, right? So if I calculate the maximum series, the 0 will be removed, because the max returns the max position. And there we go. Now when I drag this formula, this is how the formula looks like, right? So finally I can say that if this output is going to be greater than 0, and then it should give me some value, right? So this is the first answer. Now let's go for the answer called the address. Now this is done, so I'm going to put the criteria here, okay? Now how to find the hash, because the next question is that if the address has hash. So guys, you can simply use the find function. You can say that if the hash is there, then go in this text and start the number from 1, right? So hash position is going to return. So if I drag this, wherever you don't see the hash, you will have the error again, the same concept. So I can again say here, guys, that if this is going to be the error means that the hash is not there, then I just want to publish this as 0, okay? So when you drag this, this is how you'll get it. Okay, so you have here 0 1, you have here 2 and 0, you have here 0 0, you have here 4 and 3. So any combination which has a number, so this is what you can write here, if, and then you can write here if and. So you say that if this is not equals to 0, or maybe I would say that if this value actually is greater than 0, and at the same time this value is also greater than 0, then what we need to do is, we need to actually print here that it is a valid address. So you can write here address valid or valid, whatever you want to write, and I'll just go, and if this condition is not going to pass, then this is what we are going to do. Right now, this is actually a very, very powerful function, okay? You yourself saw that how beautifully we actually use these arrays, and look at this. So this value has test4. In the city we have a number, in here we have a hash. If I just remove the hash here, this is going to be invalid, so everything is invalid. Now here, if I just put the number here, maybe let's say I put the number here, you see that, guys, this is becoming valid. Wow, this is amazing, right? So this is the formula which I have used. Now I know that I've used the Control Shift Enter to insert the curly brackets, right? You can see that these curly brackets are coming in front of you. Now how actually the curly brackets are entered here, because it's actually the array. We use the Control Shift Enter, not the just the enter. So as I said, what you need to do is, you simply need to go to the playlist, okay? This playlist, if I show you this is the playlist, and here somewhere here you will find that Excel arrays most powerful. Okay, most powerful. So this is what exactly you would find my playlist there. So watch the videos in a proper sequence as they are aligned there, and you will understand how to use the F9, how to use the Control Shift Enter, and how to actually use the formulas within the formula. So we have, guys, used here if error, mid, max, Wonderful. And in fact, then if this function as well, find as well, now I can go ahead and combine all these functions as well. That's very simple, right? It's not something. Now for example, I can for example copy this, and I can, you know, write here in the if and. This is how you can write. You can put the if and, you can put this condition, you know, and then you can see that if this is going to be greater than 0, and then, you know, again you will use the another find function, which is going to, you know, you can copy that function from this, you know, from this particular cell. So that is also something you can do it. I mean, what I'm saying is that instead of doing this step by step, you can also actually combine the function. Okay, for example, first of all, if I just go and write the function here, okay, let me press Ctrl Shift Enter, and then I'm going to use this function. So I copy this function as well, and then we can combine them. We can put these functions in the if and. So I go here and I say that if, and then I start here if the if and now I see that if this is greater than 0, and what is my another function, I write this function in the logic 2. You can see here, if I click here, this is on my logic 2. Remember, everything we are writing now if and. So this is my first logic, which comes from this formula, and here you're going to write the another logic, which is again going to be greater than 0, and if it is greater than 0, I write valid, otherwise it should be invalid. Okay, for example, Control Shift Enter, and look at this, guys. You drag the function, and there we go. This is amazing, right? Isn't it? I hope you enjoyed this, and please, if you, I know that this is a difficult formula, right? So that's the point. This video is not for those who doesn't know anything about the arrays. As I said in the beginning, this is not a, because this is a question, you know, these are the questions which are taken up from your all of your queries from your emails, and so when you go and appear for the Excel test interview, you prepare yourself. So I hope that you know all these functions one by one, and if you don't know it, no worries, guys. I already showed you the way. Just go there and learn all these, you know, functions step by step, and then you can come back and you can do this exercise, right? So thank you so much for staying with me for so long. I hope you will thoroughly enjoy this video, and we're gonna talk about something in the coming videos as usual. So do subscribe to the channel, guys, and thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.